Hey, folks, on today's episode of Two Guys, One Coup, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the responses for Title IX. We thank everybody out there for that, but we'll get into some details on it. We're going to talk a little bit about Orland Park, Illinois, and the current mayor who's running for Senate and something that's going on there. There's a border crisis. I mean, you won't be able to tell that by some of our fearless leaders. Jim will go into details on that. Joe Manchin, bought and paid for. Now we know how. Mm-hmm. Jim will also tell you that. That, folks, and so much more on this episode of
Two Guys, One Coup.
Be right back.
Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Jim, you were
ready.
You were ready. Little delay, slight delay,
because
didn't know. Because I started to go on purpose. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to keep you on your toes, man. Keep you on your toes. Jim, how was your week?
My ballet classes helps with that anyway.
Oh, I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. Twinkle toes. That's right. That's who you are.
One of the backup dancers in Swan Lake. So,
are you?
Yeah.
What is Swan?
No idea. Lake? I just
Jim,
threw it out there.
For men out there, what is Swan?
I just threw it out there. I have no idea.
for those folks who stand up to pee, what is Swan Lake? Jim, please inform us. I saw Black Swan, the movie. I mean, is that?
Yeah. Might have been. I have no idea.
Similar. Jim, lots going on, huh? Again,
too much to even.
Too much to talk about. Yeah, folks, I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's special episode on the Title IX. That was the deadline to jump into this federal registry and make your voice known that you're against Title IX. A lot of people did it. So, I mean, it got very good response. Yeah. We really do appreciate it. Appreciate all the work from you name it. I mean, I don't need to name the names, but everybody we've talked about. If I name a name, Jim says I'm name dropping, so I can't do that.
Oh no, they need to have their names because they're.
Then I will thank January Littlejohn. Yeah. I will thank Bernadette Broyles. I will thank every single member of Moms for Liberty.
Yep.
I will also thank people like Project Veritas. I don't know if you saw their new kind of expose that came out on it's crazy, and I would love to have all of that stuff on this episode, but there's just too much of it.
And to those listeners out there who signed up, who actually went out and signed the petition that we had, but we have listeners. Dale has some interesting information on that too. So.
I do, and we'll get into that. But first, I just want to briefly start with this. I don't know why, but I came across this really short video of this biological woman who claims she is non-binary. So she is neither male nor female, but she is a biological woman. And about
so she's a woman.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay. I mean, in a nutshell. I mean, if you're going to get specific and scientific on me, then yes, she is actually a woman. She is actually a woman. Well, you're a step ahead of a Supreme Court justice.
Exactly right.
I'll tell you that. I just listen to the short video, and then I'll come back with some thoughts on it.
So ever since I came out as non-binary to all my coworkers, they've been like so sweet about like accepting me and respecting me. And yesterday, my male coworkers like invited me into the male locker room and was like, "You can come change in here." And my manager was like, "Yeah, if you identify as non-binary, you can use whatever locker room that you want." And I just was like, that is so cute of them to like come up to me and talk to me about. And I was like, I'll stick with my ladies, like 100%. They smell better. The locker room's bigger. I love them. But the offer was there, and that just like warmed my little envy heart.
So what you heard, really honestly, was about her, being proud of being non-binary. But the whole story revolved around her coworkers. And you just heard it, but just to review, her coworkers who said, "Hey, if you want to shower in the men's shower, I mean, you're absolutely allowed to. I mean, and her supervisor said, yeah, I mean, if you're non-binary, you can go in either one." And she kindly, said, "Oh my God, I really do appreciate that, but I'll stick with the ladies. They smell better. I just, but it just warmed my NB heart, non-binary heart, that they made that offer." So I'm sitting there thinking,
good for her.
Why do you think maybe the fellas at work said, "Why don't you shower with us?" I mean, this is what it, to me, this is what it, but not her. She was like, "Oh my God, that is so very nice of them to make that offer. It just warmed my NB heart." What do you think was going to happen there, chickie? Biological woman?
Why
non-NB woman?
Why can't they just use their own bathrooms?
She is. So I'll give her credit. So she is using her own bathroom. But the point is that she was very, very flattered that a bunch of dudes at work.
Like you said. Yeah. Sure. Well,
come on,
we'll take as many women as
come on in.
Shower with us.
Jeez, if the whole Dallas Cowboy cheerleading squad, I hope you're all non-binary. Get in here with us, ladies. We're all just one happy group. What do you think's going to happen? Come on. This is ridiculous.
This is making a mockery of everything, man. This is probably the biggest. I keep waiting to wake up. It was a joke. I keep waiting for somebody. It's like, no way. No. Yeah. But we keep hearing these stories. We keep hearing that Monster Liberty groups talking about this, talking about that. And it's like, oh my God.
It's never ending. It's never ending. And folks, no interview today. So it's Jim and I. It's just, Jay and Silent Bob. Just Jay and Silent Bob. I'll let you all figure out who's playing the Kevin Smith role.
Yeah.
But
it's like Abbott and Costello. Here we go.
Sort of. Laurel and Hardy. I mean, when you're looking at that.
But Hardy was the
Brad Pitt, Nathan Lane. I mean, it's kind of things like that is what I'm saying. But at any rate, it just
King Kong Bundy and Hulk Hogan.
Who?
Wrestling fans, if you know.
I think everybody knows it. It's just crazy to me, Jim, that this, and then she was just so very, very pleased. Listen, that's one of 5 million videos out there of these non-binary, transgender, genderqueer. I don't know what they're called anymore. People, the rest of them, I don't know what they're called anymore. Of them and how proud they are that they're. I saw this week too. I saw a lot of videos and some pictures. And again, I'll name drop, but January posted them, and it's kind of where I get a lot of this stuff from because she is on top of this, and rightfully so, and we know why. But of like young 13, 14-year-old girls that got double mastectomies, just the smiles with the doctors and their families and all that. I'm like, this is just lunacy, absolutely lunacy to me. But anyways, I also want to talk about something government related because the Pentagon, Jim, I don't know if you heard, as our government is sending $60 billion over to Ukraine, as they are trillions and trillions of dollars into this, Inflation Reduction Act and hiring all the IRS agents and you name it, everything else that they're spending this bullshit on. The Pentagon tells struggling Army families to apply for food stamps. No lie. They tell struggling Army, our military, to apply for food stamps. All the while, these funds are going to everywhere else except who deserves it most. I wanted to mention that because I don't know if anybody's heard about it. I'll try to get more details on it, but that is an actual true statement that was made by the Pentagon. Can you believe it? Can you actually believe
under this administration? Yeah.
Well, agreed. So,
yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
The military families always should be taken care of. I mean, always.
First and foremost.
It's just their home.
First and foremost.
Whether it's wartime or not.
Yep.
All right. It's
first and
even
foremost.
Peacetime. Their families are off in foreign countries most of the time, or within the United States, but away
Fighting
from them. Yeah, we should always take
protecting
care of them.
us. Always.
Yeah. Maybe the money for the student loan forgiveness, maybe we should move that towards the families of the military.
Whoa, Jim, but what are these struggling doctors and pediatricians and estheticians and struggling lawyers and what are
well,
these
they
people,
just have
how
to,
can they afford it?
They just can't buy that BMW they want. So we'll have to wait.
Well, BMW, Jim, that's BMW's almost the bottom. Anything lower than that's a VW if you're going German. I mean,
I just can't wait till he does the mortgage loan forgiveness. So can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Looking forward to that day, right? Wonder how many votes you get if he said, "All right, we're paying off all your mortgages."
Oh my God, he would.
But we own your home.
See, that would be the You know what? Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
But
I do look forward to the many master's and doctorate degrees I'm about to pay for and get. I mean, I'll just call myself whatever I want.
And not just that.
I own them.
People's bad decisions on where they went to college and what job they're working.
And what major they went into,
I mean, I keep talking to kids all the time. And just real quick, I keep talking to kids all the time. Well, but I just want to, I want that college experience. Fine, then pay for it. But I went, and I am not afraid to admit it, I went to a community college for 2 years, got my associates from a community college. Mm-hmm. $8,000 is all I had done after those 2 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And then I chose to go a different route to I went online to WGU, Indiana, and got my degree, very little student loan. But I figured it out. Yeah. So if you want to go get the college experience, pay for it. I'm tired of hearing people say make school more affordable. You got
well, I mean,
we live in the United States. People have a right to make the money they make. They do. And we question sometimes we question some public figures and how much they make and everything else.
Mostly nonprofits.
Public funded money and stuff like that. But if a professor wants to earn $120,000 because that's what they have, and the school wants to pay that professor $120,000, if you're not happy, don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there. And I hate to say this because I hate the school, sports-wise, but you have Purdue, who the president is former governor of Indiana, Mitch Daniels, who has not raised tuition in, I think, 4 years now.
Yeah.
And because he's figured it out.
Yep.
And so make fun of conservatives all you want to out there, liberals, but most of the colleges are being run by liberals, and
they are. And the truth of the matter is, college has gotten ridiculously priced. It has. I mean, the cost to go to college is stupid. It really, really is stupid. But then again, don't go there. Don't go that route. Don't take that route. Go to why do you have to go? Yeah, go there. Get your prereqs. It's what you're going to do in college, anyways. So, I had, I think, a total of about $40,000 in student loans, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody paid those back but me. Yep. So, it's just the way it is. So, yes, folks, I did end up going to college. It was, I know it doesn't show, but I did end up going to college. But,
we's very educated people.
Yeah, we's educated peoples. That's right. I got my education. That's what I got. I've been schooled. Jim, let's. What do you say? Do you got anything else you want to add to this?
I always have things I can add.
Yeah, you do. You do. And I want to let the audience know that Jim is.
Don't. Let's just move on.
Jim is working diligently on the website.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. And his Bengals lost. Yeah, sure. All right, Jim.
And about the website, we'll talk about this again. Honestly, I think with the way that we've done it, and thank you, Dale, I got to give you credit for sending me another link for a podcast-specific website. Wow, it's amazing how much easier it is. Folks, I think we're going to be able to go live here in a couple weeks.
I think so.
And
I think so too.
What's really cool is we can have links to our guests where if you want to reach out to the guests and say nice things and appreciate it,
donate,
it's all going to be there.
Groups,
so
whatever, everything will be there. So
I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait for people to see it because Dale and I are gorgeous as hell, but when you see our great logo that's up there, it's even better. It just really captures our. So thank you again, Julia Bridges. It's just awesome. I mean, I love the logo, getting compliments on it. I've been passing out my business cards. I think I'm halfway through them.
Are you already?
Oh yeah, it's. I got family that wanted them, and so I gave it to them, and then they're giving it some people and stuff.
Jim, you got to give those to people who don't know about us.
Well, no, but they're giving it to people, and just all you got to do is take a picture of the QR code on the back, and then everybody has it.
Everybody has it. That's all you got to do.
So it's pretty cool. So
cool.
Coming soon.
So I don't know. You thought I was going to talk about the Bengals losing.
I don't. We're not. Move on.
I was not going to talk about that.
Move on.
Anyways, Jim, you're going to go first. You ready?
Yep. Ready.
Who day?
Yeah. Pittsburgh, obviously. who they going to beat them Bengals? Obviously Pittsburgh. Of all the teams.
You didn't wait 5 seconds, Jim.
I'm not there yet. Okay. Now we're getting into the story.
I'm leaving that
go ahead. I don't care. Okay. It's whatever. I just my life is over right now. So, okay. So we have a few things to talk about. There's now things. Finally, we're seeing things come out about this Biden's controversial Title IX rule.
Yeah.
Now it's getting bombarded with comments from concerned parents, and when I say concerned parents, what I love about this is not just conservative parents, guys. These are parents from all over that are concerned about the whole thing in general. And remember, he is bypassing Congress. This is not something that is going to be in a bill.
Correct.
So,
or allowed to be voted on by the public at all.
And then Dale has something to add on after I'm done with this. But there's some interesting things that pop up on this thing, numbers that we truly see. First time I'm seeing numbers.
Okay.
President Biden's proposed change for Title IX have stirred up such controversy that they've generated a record number of public comments from parents, many of whom are concerned about their children's safety in schools and what the amendments will mean for women's sports. The Biden administration proposed new regulations on the 50th anniversary of Title IX, which prohibits sex-based discrimination in schools, to expand the protections to include sexual orientation and gender identity.
Yep.
Now, I technically don't have a problem with sexual orientation when it comes to gay or not. I don't understand why that's an issue. Okay, I always thought they were protected anyway. If you're a female athlete and gay, I don't think that mattered. But anyway, it's the gender identity that everyone's having a problem with. But the Defense of Freedom Institute for Policy Studies recently released a study highlighting what they called the dirty dozen defects of the draft. The defects, the group said, has fired parents up most are those who would require schools and colleges to allow biological males to compete in girls' sports and use bathrooms and locker rooms that correspond to their gender identity. Monday marks the last day of public comment period for Title IX proposals,
yesterday.
Yesterday. As of Friday, it received a record number of comments for the Department of Education. This is to the Department of Education.
Not the Federal Register we've been talking about, not any of that, just only to the Department of Education. Okay.
184,000.
Yep.
From individuals sounding off on the rule to redefine sex. Now, I want to specify 184,000. These are 184,000 comments.
Yes.
Within that 184,000, you have people representing a group. Okay, you may have one member. I don't know if they did it, but let's just use it because we know them real well. Let's say Hamilton County chapter, Moms for Liberty, one person, everybody in that group was in there. Okay, they all didn't necessarily comment, but they're all in there. So, when you see 184,000, that's just comments, guys. All right, your rule changes will destroy girls' sports. It will no longer exist. Your rule changes will subject girls to boys in their private spaces. Your rule changes will perpetuate the spread of confused children who claim to be another gender to fit in, one parent wrote, saying they can't even publicly comment on this issue without fear of retaliation. Mm-hmm. Amen. Yeah. Now, we keep talking about it because we don't care. Yeah. Say what you want. We believe in this wholeheartedly, and this is wrong. But Yael Levin Sheldon, Technology and Communication Officer for No Left Turn in Education, said she commented through the portal provided by the Defense of Freedom Institute, which offered 4 main categories: parent rights, women's sports, due process, and freedom of speech. She said she submitted a comment through all 4. Nice. All right. So, again, we want to add, parent rights is just as important as women's sports in this issue, guys. Okay, yeah, we want to talk about women's sports, right, but this goes beyond. Title IX is pretty much for women's sports, right? I mean, that's kind of
how it initially was. No. But this whole Title IX, they're now all including that. Are you saying originally it was
it was just for women's sports
back in '72? Whenever that was.
Yes,
correct.
It was just for women's sports, like I said. If you would have just let me talk.
I could, but you looked at me like you're asking me a question, Jim, and I'm like, I think we've reviewed this enough to where you know the answer.
I do know. And,
but go. Thanks.
God, anyway, people who are listening comment on that and say, Dale's rude.
Rude? I asked, you look
I know
baffled.
what title. No,
I'm confused.
I just wanted to make sure you understand that. Never mind.
That I
obviously, the obvious concern, I would say, that Title IX was made specifically to make space for women. So adding gender identity to it pretty much voids it, she said.
Yeah.
And I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So here's one that I really, really like a comment. For 50 years, Title IX has provided important protections and opportunities for women by prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sex. One commentator wrote, while parents across the country are demanding the rejection of woke policies, the Department of Education instead has chosen to hijack Title IX to force gender ideology on children without their parents' knowledge or approval. The proposed rule is a lawless interpretation and is a complete overreach by the Department of Education. As a 71-year-old woman who has cherished Title IX, this is abhorrent and must be stopped. Please do the right thing and oppose the Biden regime. You are using non-discrimination laws in an illegal and unconstitutional way. I like that.
Yeah.
And if this hits my kid's school, we will file a lawsuit, one user wrote.
Yep.
Now, the rest of it kind of goes into other comments that parents said.
Yeah.
But I want to add lawsuit. I want to comment on that because we talked about it briefly on the show yesterday. What's important about the midterms. This is an example of what's important about the midterms. Guys, and if you think that there's just not going to happen, here it is. Jim's putting his tinfoil hat on. If they win in 2022, if they keep the Dems keep hold of the House of Representatives and the Senate, don't think for a minute they will not stack the court.
Correct.
So lawsuits right now may work. Lawsuits in another 5 to 6 months?
Probably not.
Because it's going to eventually get there.
Yep.
So, again, and I know everyone's thinking, stop it.
No.
Guarantee you, if they win, they are going to push. They're going to do
more justices. So,
And so, anyway, that's my additional thing. Because the reason I thought, because you never did see numbers. You never really saw numbers on how many. But now we're starting to see it. So
starting to see them. Yeah, so to jump right on that, not to go in another subject, speaking of the numbers, the headline reads as such: Biden Educational Department declines to explain 160,000 missing public comments on redefining sex in Title IX. Oh, boy. So Politico reported Tuesday that the regulations.gov website tracking the total number of publicly submitted comments has logged over 349,000 comments. That is in addition to what would be the 187 or something you just talked about, Jim. But by Friday, 3 days later, the total number of public comments had shot down to 184,009, a decrease of more than 160,000 comments. The Biden administration provided no explanation to why those comments were removed. Politico later reported a clerical error had led to the disparity in the numbers. Additionally, a disconnect exists between two sources of data on submitted comments, regulations.gov and the Office of the Federal Register. The proposed Rule 9 change federal law prohibits. I don't need to go in that. We've gone into that before.
Right.
The Federal Register lists the total number of comments made on a certain regulation, regardless of duplicate comments or objectionable content. If a person makes a comment on a proposed rule, the Federal Register logs it. Regulations.gov, by contrast, is a curated and moderated list, meaning duplicate or spam comments are weeded out. By its very nature, the number of comments on regulations.gov should be lower than the number logged into the Federal Register. Makes sense, right? However, the Federal Register currently has 163,013 comments logged, while regulation.gov has 184,009, for a gap of nearly 21,000 comments. Agencies such as the Department of Education are permitted to redact certain comments if they contain private information or inappropriate language or are likely part of a mass mail campaign. However, a knowledgeable observer says that so many missing comments is not normal. Sarah Parshall-Perry, a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, said, "The jaw-dropping disparity in the Federal Register's number of total comments received on the proposed Title IX rule from one day to the next without explanation or disclaimer should raise alarm bells for American parents whose children at federally funded schools will receive the direct impact of any finalized rule. Whether the sudden loss of nearly 200,000 citizen comments stems from incompetence or obfuscation, the Department of Education has some explaining to do." I'm moving on here because I want to kind of give you their response to this. The Department of Education's claim, let me see the comments. Oh, okay. It says clerical error in Title IX comment count. Wondering why the number of comments on the Biden administration's Title IX rule dropped from 339,000 comments on Tuesday. The department found a clerical error with a comment unrelated to the proposed regulation that boosted it by 200,000 comments. So they had to remove those because of a clerical error. So oddly enough, Jim, at the very last minute, Joe Biden won the 2020 election.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very last minute, they remove comments now to make things benefit. Anybody find this fishy, suspicious, or out and out bullshit? Because I do. Yeah. I call bullshit on it. Does not pass the smell test whatsoever. So, guys, I don't want anybody to get discouraged in thinking that our hard efforts and everybody's hard efforts, the listeners, the groups, everybody out there are not are going to go for naught. But this is concerning. I can tell you that. So that's kind of what I had to say on it. There's just a little bit of weirdness going on here.
You know, I get it. You know, there are times we want to sit and what really impact does it have on me? You know, how many times do people say that? And guys, we got to stop saying that. You know,
everything
the
has an impact.
Yeah, because eventually it's going to hit you. All right, it's going to hit you, whether it's taxes, whether it's you have a grandchild, whether you have a child, whether you have a niece, nephew, whatever. It's going to hit. I mean, it's going to hit, and we got to protect everyone. We have to protect each other. And this administration, it didn't matter if there was 40 million people signing it. This administration is going to pass this bill because that's how slimy they are. They're disgusting and horrible. We need to speak up, whether it's at midterms, whether it's sending your congressmen and your senators an email, whatever. You need to unload because this is just this. I mean, we got other stories that guys that, and I know all administrations do their own thing and they do stuff and stuff like, but this administration is the most incompetent administration that I think, and I think it makes Carter look like Reagan. Yep. This is how bad it is. Okay.
I know. And it's true. It's true. I think personally, if I was the Moms for Liberty group, me, and I was running it, and I'm not, and they're happy I'm not, but I would try to drum up 1 million mom march on the Department of Education or Capitol Hill or something like that. And when I say million mom, it's dads, it's grandparents, it's aunts, uncles. It doesn't matter. Anybody who cares. And I would gather there peacefully, which is what they would do, and let their voices be heard on this. If this goes through, then the only way, I don't even know. I don't know how you stop it, I guess. Until Jim, I don't know that I'm smart enough, but if this does go through and then by God, somebody else 2024, DeSantis, Trump, whatever, can they remove that crap from there? And then the next one can come and put it back in, right? I mean, is this never ending, or how does this?
No, it can be changed. I mean, it can.
It can be changed. It can be changed every time, right?
When President Trump came in, he stopped one of the mandates from the Unaffordable Care Act.
I understand that.
So yeah, they can do that. They can do. This was just done it's going to be by him, an executive order. He's just going to put it through. Yeah. Executive orders can be overturned easily. They can just be stomped out.
They can.
The problem is, the problem is if it gets in place and it starts getting implemented, you have to go back through and decide, okay, what do we do now? We've got people competing in sports that don't need to be there, and it's going to be a mess. I mean, as usual,
it's going to be a mess.
It will always
it's going to
be a mess, and
it's going to be a mess.
But you're right. I mean, for all you women athletes out there who think that, what did she say? A 13-year-old volleyball player, who cares? Well, that 13-year-old volleyball player cares because she obviously wants to play volleyball in high school or whatever. And, what happens if she gets replaced by a guy?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what you got to think about. And for all these women that want to stand up for women's rights and everything else, this is a woman's right issue. I mean, there's the whole thing with Leah. Of course you can make a comment about Leah because you're not competing against him.
Correct.
You're not competing against him in swimming. Yep. But now you got to look at the women that are.
Yeah.
The woman that didn't make the team.
Yep.
Because he's on it. You're not looking at it like that. And that's the unfortunate thing. And guys, Title IX, and again, we talked about it in the last show, so we won't, but it's more than just sports. If you as a parent say you are not changing, you could lose your child.
You could.
I'm not, and this is no exaggeration, guys.
It's no exaggeration. The thing that scares me more about any of this is this supposed Title IX coordinator that is going to be in charge of every student. And I don't even come on. That's just Gestapo crap to me. That's just like they're going to have complete control and complete control. I mean, I can't think of another word over what your student and your child does, regardless if they object to it in school. Your kid, they could see what's to them, determine what's best for the child and make that decision on their own. And that's frightening stuff to me. But Jim, you ready to move on? Let's. Is it me? Am I up next, Jim?
I went first with the story, so yeah, you'd be up next.
Okay. Jim, I jumped onto your story, so I wasn't sure how we were. We reviewed it.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
it just went right on. So
we
people like to hear you talk more than me, anyway.
Do they? Yeah, I can tell. I'm always getting comments like, Dale, please talk more. The fan mail's getting out of hand. The mail truck here just brings it in bags of just love I get from everybody. Just like, please talk more. Yeah. Don't give Jim a chance.
Give peace a chance, man.
Give peace a chance. Guys, I want to talk a little bit about, again, this has another video, all right, that goes with it, but it is the mayor of Orland Park, Illinois. His name is Keith, and I want to say, hopefully I pronounce this right, but it's Pekau, like Pekau. I don't know if that's how you say his name.
That's I would say that.
Pekau, say it that
Pekau,
way. Yeah. Who is also running for Senate now, but currently the mayor of Orland Park, Illinois. So, again, another short minute video, but I got some stuff to add to it when it comes back. So take a listen to that. I'll be right back.
The following things will go into effect, and people need to be aware of this. It abolishes cash bail for almost every offense. This includes, but isn't limited to, kidnapping, armed robbery, second-degree murder, drug-induced homicide, aggravated DUI, threatening a public official, and aggravated fleeing and eluding. Offenders released on electronic monitoring have to be in violation for 48 hours before law enforcement can act. They could almost drive to Alaska before we can even look for them. It denies victims their constitutional rights. And keep this in mind, businesses and homeowners. Officers will no longer be able to remove trespassers from your residence or your businesses. Someone could decide to live in your shed, and all we can do is give them a ticket. You have to decide what level of force is required to remove them and whether or not it's legal.
Jim, I always say take a listen to that. I'll be right back. I always mean to say we. It seems rude, Jim. I would comment it.
You are the heart and soul of this show, man.
Jim,
you are the heart and soul of the show.
Jim,
I don't even know why I come on the show sometimes.
I can't believe the love you have in your heart today. I cannot believe it after such a devastating weekend.
Especially when you look up and go, "Oh shit, that's right, Jim's here."
Yeah, that's right.
We get that on interviews a lot. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, folks, you just heard. I'm going to recap real quick, just some of the highlights, and then there were some things you didn't hear in that video that he also had said. But you heard that they're getting rid of cash bail for almost every offense. Now, this includes kidnapping, armed robbery, second-degree murder, drug-induced homicide, aggravated DUI, threatening a public official, and aggravated fleeing and eluding. This goes into place on January 1st, 2023, and it is called the SAFE-T Act. Now, what does that mean? Now, it's SAFE-T. That stands for Safety, Accountability, and Fairness Equity Today. Way to go, Illinois. This goes into effect, as I mentioned, January 1st, 2023. So you heard the first thing. He had mentioned it. He also said offenders released on electronic monitoring have to be in violation for 48 hours before law enforcement can act. So the ankle bracelet people, you're on home arrest. You cut that thing off, or you go anywhere. Cut it off, leave it there. They can't respond for 2 days. 2 days. And you heard him say from there, he's like, they could almost drive to Alaska by then. I mean, this is craziness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Craziness. Denies victims their constitutional rights, and also officers will no longer be able to remove trespassers from your residence or place of business. He said that. Yeah. Yes. So someone could decide to live in your shed. They could live in, it doesn't matter, live in your backyard. Law officers will not be able to remove that person. This is Illinois.
This man wants to be a senator, folks.
Yes, so vote for him. This is the guy who he's against it. So just so you know, I mean, you heard the video, so you know that. But it doesn't end there. Okay, what you didn't hear in the video was this. There is currently a bill in front of the House to remove school resource officers from the schools, which means no school resource officer would be at what would be Sandburg High School, which is Orland Park, Illinois, where he's at. So he's specifically speaking of that. The city of Chicago has already done this. He said, I personally do not want to see the city of Chicago become the standard for how we conduct public safety, because they have abandoned their police officers, abandoned their residents, and created a war zone full of criminals. He goes on to say, folks, sorry, I'm reading off my monitors today, and I'm using the wrong mouse. Anyways, it's like, so quote, it's like they won't stop until they destroy our communities and our society, explained Pekau. We all need to take a stand against this. This is a very dangerous bill. As leaders charged with ensuring public safety in our communities, we cannot ignore the complete disregard for the safety of our residents due to the details of this act that will be put in place by state legislators and the impact it will have on our police department's ability to reduce and deter criminal activities. This is craziness to me, Jim. It doesn't shock me, coming from Illinois. The problem is that you tell me states like California, Washington, Oregon, New York, maybe Massachusetts, who knows where, Maryland. You tell me that they won't implement this stuff? Same thing. This Safety Act. It's protecting the criminal.
Can I ask you a question?
Bottom line, you can ask anything you want, Jim.
And I don't want to. I got to be careful how I ask this.
Are you putting me on a spot, or is it going to be hard for me to answer this?
Let's say. Mm-hmm. Now, this bill doesn't go for everybody, right? Anybody convicted of armed robbery doesn't get off scot-free, right? It's by whatever the judge or what rules. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I steal a car.
Yes.
You think I it will not have to pay cash bail?
Right now, currently in India.
If I'm in Illinois, if this bill passes,
I know where you're going.
Do you think I or you would get off without having to pay? Do you believe that? Now, again, I'm not speculating. I don't want to speculate because I don't know the law. I just have a feeling it's not going to affect me or you.
Or me.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Sorry. And the listeners, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I would like to know more about this because
I would too.
Probably like Dale said, coming to a city near you. I mean, it's happening now.
And that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't have to be statewide, but like Chicago's already done the whole school resource officer. Yeah. They can choose to do all this. Let these people. So let me just, so it says, to put it in the perspective, the repercussions of the Safety Act. Sean Campus, who's a trustee with the board in Orland Park, Illinois, noted a recent statement by the Will County State's Attorney. On July 4th, the Will County State's Attorney stated that of the 640 detainees, 60 of which have been charged with murder, all of them will have their bonds extinguished in January due to new pre-trial system. All of them. 640 of them. 60, which have been charged with murder, would have their bonds extinguished. Now, I have to say, Jim, of the 640 detainees, I would assume some would be like you or like me. So maybe we're wrong.
And look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have a feeling.
The whole thing is wrong, Jim, to begin with. The whole thing is wrong, and it's hard to believe that this is actually happening there. It is, but it isn't. So, this is what happens when you have liberals running your states, in your cities. This is what happens. Look at Portland, Oregon. Look at Seattle. Look at Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York City now.
Sense.
How many more voters can you get when you let all these people out, Jim? Many, many voters now are now able to go pull that little knob for their Democratic.
But these aren't
slave owners.
It's
true.
Petty crime people. These are serious people that
murders, rapists.
You give them 2 days to cut that ankle bracelet out, and who knows who they can harm, who they can hurt, and where they're
going to go.
I just want to see that first time where something happens here. If it gets passed, which it sounds like it's gonna. That first criminal that gets off, we're going to give this little ankle bracelet to you because they're law-abiding citizens. So they're going to keep the bracelet on. They're not going to try to take it off.
All of them do.
Find out that they have 2 days. Huh.
Yep.
To cut the bracelet off, by the time they're in Colorado, they could kill 4 or 5 people. and then move on up to Canada or wherever else they choose. Because you can easily get to Canada in less than a day.
Yeah. Yep. Say you live on the border of Indiana and Illinois, and a lot of people do that are listening to us right now, or they live close by at least. Just if I want to commit a homicide, or if I'm just a psychopath and I'll just go next door. Why? Why wouldn't it matter? I'll just kill their citizens, because that's who I am, right? I mean, it's I don't know. It opens the door for so much crap. I know that sounds weird. Why would you drive over there? I mean, who's going to just because you can? Yeah. And I'm just using that as the most example. You could go there and rape somebody.
And this is a statewide thing.
And statewide is what they're trying to implement. January 1st, 2023. They're trying to Chicago the entire state.
Did Lori Lightfoot create it?
Well, no, I'm sure she's for it.
Because things are going so well in Chicago.
They sure are, aren't they? That's the whole point. But Jim, anyways, I wanted to bring that to everybody who may not know the story or may not know. And if you're in Illinois and you're listening, support Keith Picow. Picow. Yeah. Sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but that's please support him because the guy's common sense. He's not the rest of them.
Yeah, and these are defunding the police people, by the way.
They are. They are defunding the police people.
This is their different way of defunding the police.
Correct. So. That's it. Yep. That's it. So a police force that's already been depleted because of it there. Mm-hmm. So, Jim, all right. Are you ready to move on?
Absolutely.
You're up.
So it's things like what I'm about to talk about that just flat out pisses you off. Mm-hmm. When these big bills get passed by these individuals, and they're passed because two people are holdouts, and then all of a sudden they're not holdouts anymore and they sign.
Yeah.
You wonder what they got. Okay. Now, most of the time, you don't hear about it. We heard, correct. I cannot not remember, but I know one of the bills way, way back, Nebraska congressman was a holdout. Nebraska senator was a holdout. Yeah. Well, all of a sudden they agreed to it. Now all of a sudden the requirements or the CO2 emissions, a little different regulations in Nebraska, something like that. Okay, we get that, right? Mm-hmm. Now we know why Joe Manchin caved.
Joe Manchin of the great state of West by God, Virginia.
Now,
for those who listen in West Virginia, which we do have some. So.
Yep. And the green group is pissed, and we need to be pissed, but for different reasons. Okay, and I'll go into that in a second. Environmental groups lambasted Democrats' side deal to greenlight a West Virginia natural gas pipeline. What? Pipeline, saying such a provision would be a betrayal. Yeah.
This is the green people? These
the green people are saying this, but I also think it's a betrayal as well. And we'll get into that. Too. Yep. The group argued that the Mountain Valley Pipeline, a 304-mile West Virginia to Virginia natural gas pipeline that is under construction, would mark a setback for federal environment and endangered species protection. The $6.6 billion pipeline is mostly completed, but has faced a series of permitting setbacks from federal agencies and courts. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, I am fighting with these green groups. Not to protect endangered species, however. I think everybody knows where I'm going with this.
Yes, yeah.
So, these scum Democrats, okay, we're going to let you do a gas pipeline because we want you to do this bill that's going to add $20 cotillion to our, but that's okay because we want you to, we're going to do this while we have a Keystone pipeline that is sitting there idle. Guys, if this does, now I'm mad at like the green people are, but I'm mad in a different way.
Of course.
The hypocrisy of this group is complete, not the green group, but the liberals.
Yeah.
Is completely ridiculous. And I know Joe Manchin is going to sit here and say, I need to speak for my West Virginia people. How big and how many people does West Virginia have in comparison to the rest of the United States of America that certainly would like that Keystone pipeline opened up?
Exactly.
I mean, exactly. I don't know. Maybe, just
keep their coal plants running, keep their coal mining operations running. How many of those people would want that? What does this bill do to coal?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Senator Joe Manchin agreed to support the Inflation Reduction Act, a.k.a. the Inflation Increased Act, the $739 billion climate and tax package that President Idiot signed last month.
President Idiot.
In exchange for Democratic leadership support of a permitting reform deal that would make it easier to approve energy products, including fossil fuel pipelines, under the deal, which is expected to be included in the upcoming government funding bill. The MVP pipeline would be given broad federal approval. Members of both parties who claim to believe in property rights must come out against the abuse that the MVP and other pipelines impose on landowners. Now, I have no problem with pipeline. If they want to put this pipeline in, I have absolutely no problem with it. I'm trying to figure out why they closed the Keystone pipeline, but they're going to open this one up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think now, of course we know now. Needed Manchin to vote for it.
Yep. And
needed to give him something.
And that's how they got it. So,
he was
anyway,
paid for that scumbag.
Folks, we now know why Manchin, who absolutely was not going to sign that bill because it was horrible to the American people.
Correct.
Apparently, it's not so bad.
It's not so bad at all.
Yeah. But still, even with this bill, it's not going to help them because coal mining is still suffering in West Virginia. And
it sure is. It sure is, and the people are still suffering there.
And one little quick addition here to that. I was in a bad mood because of what happened over the weekend. But then I got and I read, Kamala Harris says we have no border problem. I am so thankful.
Thank the Lord.
Man,
I thought, it was one thing I thought for sure we had, but I'm glad she cleared it up. Jim, tell me how she cleared it up.
Now,
what happened?
She just said, that's it.
Oh, she just said. That's it. So she didn't go there. Remember, she didn't build a wall.
This is a woman that said, to get to where we got to go, we got to get to where we got to go, and we can't get there until we get there and get it. Get it done. God.
It's inspiration.
That is going to be the tagline for our show.
Inspiring words.
That's going to be the tagline for our show.
Can't get there until we get it done, but we got to get there.
It's like,
you're right.
You're President Biden, and I'm a reporter.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. President. Jim with Two Guys, One Coup podcast. Two Guys, One Coup podcast. You say that the Reduction Act is going to reduce inflation. Give me specifics on how you think this $739 billion bill is going to reduce inflation.
Come on, man. Squirrels are purple. We love peanuts. Everybody likes bananas in their ketchup. Come on, man. It's Afghanistan. It's not. Come on. You don't know what's. I mean, you can't. True international depression. The thing.
Mr. President, you are an inspiration to all Americans. I could not have said that better myself. I really can't. Man, and that between you and Vice President Kamala Harris, you guys give me proud to say I'm an American.
I mean, these are going to be written words that should be put on statues and stones when these two buffoons leave office, shouldn't they? Just inspirational word after word from these two bona fide special needs people, and that's not against. I'm sorry, I insulted special needs people.
Yeah, I know it is. But here's one quick thing: sheriffs dealing with the crisis of the southern border are taking aim at Washington D.C. for declaring a public emergency over the migrants that have been bussed into the sanctuary city by Texas and Arizona. I mean, I'm sorry, these sheriffs, these border patrols, these governors of these states, they can't declare a national emergency.
Nope.
But these governors that are sending these buses, I love them. I love them. It was fantastic.
Love them.
Lori Lightfoot, hey, yeah, send them all you want to. No, she's busting them
until
out
they
the
showed up.
suburbs.
Until they showed up.
Busting them out
Remember?
to the suburbs. She's
like, oh, crap.
In Chicago.
Oh, crap.
But
yep, they're here.
Guys,
what do we do?
These are Democratic leaders of cities that are of importance in this country. Okay?
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
And this is how stupid they are. This mayor of Washington, D.C. declares a national emergency because of all the immigrants that are being busted. But Texas can't?
Illegal immigrants.
No,
but Texas can't.
They're future voters, Dale. Because they were given voter ID cards when they came across.
They sure were.
See, they were given cards then. Yeah,
but
you can't go to this state. You can't go to this state.
They need them to vote in Texas. They need them to vote in Arizona. They need them to vote in Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. They don't need them in Washington, D.C.
I am proud to say. I am proud
Illinois.
To say they would not be allowed to vote in Indiana. I am proud.
Well, they would not in Florida either. Yeah. But yes.
But anyway, it's another fun comment by Kamala Harris, because obviously when she makes comments like this, nobody asks her to explain.
No, just,
nobody.
No border crisis.
How many
what
dead
do you mean,
now?
Kamala? No,
how many dead?
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
And so because Kamala Harris, it's important. It's just important that we have to get to where we're going. To get there, but we got to know where we're going so we can get there.
Jim, I mean, if your voice was just a little lower, it would have sounded spot on, just like Kamala's.
And I think I sounded more intelligent than her, though. I
understood you.
I'm completely flabbergasted by this. Anyway,
they're baffling to me. They're baffling to me. Anyways, Jim, great segment. I appreciate it. I mean, we got to show our impressions out. I mean, we're so multi.
You know what though? I think we need to add some. We're going to do some more interviews later on.
Are we going to do? We're going to do more Biden interviews.
With Kamala Harris and Biden.
Biden, I think
because I think it's very important that people understand that squirrels like nuts.
Squirrels like nuts. Purple squirrels and purple. He's like the Lucky Charms guy. Purple horseshoes. Green clovers.
I gotta think.
At least those are correct.
I'll think of another question to ask, but
please ask.
So eloquently put. It was
next show. Next show, ask me another one, and I'll give you the best I can. All right, Jim. Let's move on. Last segment of the show. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. This story may be less funny.
Great.
Jim, it's what I do always. It's always a shame. I mean, but I like when you have funny stories because it makes me laugh. Mm-hmm. All right, and
the funny thing is that the stories aren't funny.
Well, no, that's true.
They're made funny because of the idiocy that these people do. But they're not funny.
That's true. But you make me laugh, Jim, and that's what this show's all about.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. You're like
That's why Costello was always great for Abbott.
Yeah. That's true. and there you have it. Stan. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, if you're going to take a look at somebody like Brad Pitt and Nathan Lane, which one's funnier? Pumbaa. I mean, right? Or Simone, whatever he was. That's who's going to look funnier. Jim, this story is ridiculous. But just another one in a long line of them. Science teacher accused of raping a student.
Oh, I saw
now faces even more charges after victim spotted at her home 9 times since her initial arrest. A 36-year-old science teacher in North Carolina accused of raping a student was hit with dozens more charges after it was discovered that many of you might be thinking it was she allegedly violated the conditions of her bond repeatedly. According to the local sheriff's office, there's evidence that the victim was at her home at least 9 times since her arrest in early August. The Iredell County Sheriff's Office, apparently a town in North Carolina, said it received information indicating the juvenile victim had been at Elizabeth Susan Bailey's Statesville, North Carolina residence on 9 occasions since her original arrest on August 1st, 2022. This is not funny. Why did I laugh? You say? It's not funny. It isn't. It's a woman who's doing this to, she's accused of statutory rape, 15 years or younger. But I'm guessing that poor little boy wanted more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you think would
that's,
happen?
That's what happens to them.
What do you think would happen if this was a male teacher?
Well, first of all, I don't think it would have been out on bond. I don't think any of them should be out on bond. Mm-mm. She should not have been out. I don't know how she made bond. I don't even know what her initial bond was. It says part of her original bond release conditions was she stay away from the juvenile victim in the case. Well, that just makes clear sense, right? Mm-hmm. That is one of the original. At the time of Bailey's initial arrest, she was hit with 3 felony charges, including one for statutory rape of a person aged 15 or younger, indecent liberties with a minor, and felony sexual activity with a student in connection with the alleged June 11th incident. Mm-hmm. North Carolina law says the following about, okay, I don't need to read the North Carolina law. She was diddling a minor. All right. The Iredell Statesville School District reportedly suspended Bailey with pay after learning of the allegations against the Northview Academy science teacher. Authorities said the investigation began on July 20th, leading to the August 1st arrest. But Bailey reported bonded out of jail on the condition that she remain on house arrest and submit to electronic monitoring.
Well, she didn't leave the house.
She didn't leave the house. Though she didn't go anywhere.
Should have put the monitor on him. I'm sorry.
I guess, look at, you're making me laugh on what a story should not be. I apologize to all those out there that do not find this a laughing matter like Jim does. Anyways, though I'm trying, I'll get to I'm sorry. My God. I'm going to try to get through the rest of this now.
I'm sorry.
No, you're sorry to who, Jim? Who are you sorry to?
I'm
to be
picturing
honest?
This mother.
Don't apologize if you're not sorry.
I'm picturing this mother of this young man.
Yeah,
he's just been ruined. His whole life has been ruined, and this boy's like, "Well, his life has been wonderful."
Yeah, I know. Like that's what I'm saying.
Look, it's wrong what she did, and it should never be allowed. I'm saying that right now. Okay, but I'm telling you, this kid is not going to be ruined. This kid is breaking to his friends.
9 times since her arrest.
He just banged the science teacher. That's what
I'm saying.
Anyway,
that's what I'm saying.
So I'm sorry.
No,
Jim, it's a bad
you're
thing.
Not wrong.
It's a bad thing. I know.
Jim.
This I don't know why I even said that.
Jim, this show's even gonna. I don't even think this show's gonna get 3 downloads. And then the minute this word gets out,
I'm sorry because it's not funny, but
it's not. I don't know why. I mean, it's just super giddy today, aren't we? I mean, it's like, it's just. But I think everybody understands the point. The kid came back 9 times. I think we know why. Yeah. Right. I think that's the obvious thing. Well, the kid was like, the point it doesn't bother me. I'm happy to do this. The kid.
If you didn't think she was going to do it,
she's the problem.
Keep her in jail. Don't let her out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But they let her out with one of them ankle bracelets that soon to be in Illinois you could just cut off. You don't have to look for
2 days. She could have ran with this kid to camp.
She could have.
But I watched the.
Go ahead.
I watched Mary Kay Letourneau. They had a special over the weekend on it, and this reminds me of that.
You watched what?
Remember that Mary Letourneau long ago? She had the film with the 13. This kid was 13 years old.
That's why I don't know how old is 15. They ended up. I mean, I don't know.
They ended up getting married and had more children. And I didn't know that. I did not know that.
It's a true love story.
True love story. Maybe after he turned 18.
Well, I'm assuming that's when they got married, right? Did they get married before he was 18?
No, I think it was that because she was in prison. She She was sentenced to 7 years in prison, but it was...
She didn't serve 7. No
she
way.
didn't have to serve the 7 if she would have stayed away from him and went to counseling, but she couldn't stay away from him, and they continued to have relations.
Wow.
So then she went to prison, got out of prison. He was there. They met, and then she unfortunately died of colon cancer years later, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So
that's not funny, but
yeah, I'm trying to. Why'd you laugh at that? But folks, okay. This segment,
because I feel like because I feel like she got her comeuppance a little bit.
Well,
okay,
I want to say what this teacher did is wrong. It is completely wrong.
100% wrong.
And there could have been better ways to keep her from doing this. I'm sorry,
not letting her out.
Yeah, better ways. But I'm looking at the young man's perspective. That's what I'm doing. Maybe I shouldn't be.
Because you're a boy, because we're men and we were boys once. Yeah. That's the only reason that this is looked at.
Remember, that's how these are found out. It's not that they're caught. It's the boy goes and brags.
Because that's what boys will do.
That's what
every single time.
Yep.
Okay, so listen. I'm going to finish this, Jim. No. Don't be sorry at all. It's that I get it. Based on the data received by the investigators, 27. Oh, okay. Though she was also required to not be alleged. And authorities now say that she has repeatedly failed to do so. So stay away from the kid and all that. Necessitating 27 new charges. Based on the data received by the investigators, 27 charges against Bailey were taken out on Friday, September 2nd. Bailey was arrested at her home by members of the Iredell County Sheriff's Office warrant squad. The sheriff's office said Bailey was taken to Iredell County Detention Center, where she was served with 9 counts of misdemeanor contributing to the delinquency of a minor, 9 counts of felony intimidating or interfering with a state witness, and 9 counts of felony violation of pre-trial release conditions. 9 times he was there. Those add up to 27 new charges. Wow. Iredell County Detention Center records reviewed by Law and Crime, it's a website, show that Bailey has been in custody since last Friday, September 2nd. The sheriff's office said that Bailey was held on $800,000 bond. So that's basically, she'd have to come up with $80,000 to get out this time. So 10% of the bond. But they still gave her bond. I mean, what if she makes the $80,000? You know, that saying she's not going to do it again? Keep her the hell in there.
The other
That's
thing
it.
Is, where are the parents of this kid?
The parents are probably the ones pushing it more than the kid, obviously.
No, what I'm saying is,
times,
why is the kid, knowing that the teacher was on house arrest, they had to have known.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure they had to have known.
I think I would have been a little bit more, where are you going? I say they had to have known, but a few things could be happening. One, the parent involvement could just not be there. Well,
right?
You're right.
So parent involvement just could not be there, one way or the other, or maybe he's with his grandparent. I don't know.
You're right. That's true.
But also, the school may not have informed the parent that the teacher's been removed and is being held.
Yeah, but they would have had to have known it went to court because the kid would have had to have said something, right?
She got arrested and then bonded out. They didn't. There was no trial yet. So they're necessarily, the kid might have been like, I'm not telling my parents that. Okay. So I think there's a couple different things that could have happened. But I'm sure the parents obviously know now. I'm sure the parents are the one, somebody's pushing it, obviously, as they should. But you can go online and you can take a look at her. And her name again was what, Jim? I thought you had that memorized. Elizabeth Suzanne Bailey. And her mugshot, I wouldn't have gone back once. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. But I am not a 13-year-old boy, or whatever.
As a side note, I am not for this. Yes, I made light of it. Yes, I made jokes, but that's what we do. We joke about stuff, but we understand this is serious shit, and she should be penalized.
She should be. It's very much so on every count.
Yeah.
regardless of the kid came back once, and she's got to be the adult here.
Exactly.
And say,
exactly.
Get the hell out of here.
Because he's a 15-year-old kid, hormones going like crazy, and he's got an older woman. And no.
Of course he's
not going to make the right decision. So
he's not making the right decision. Thinking with you know what.
Yep.
And not his you know what.
Yeah.
So
no emails.
She has to
please.
be the adult here.
No emails.
If you do, please address him to Jim.
It was a joke.
Dear Jim. That's what
after
I
the weekend I had to laugh. Okay, I have to laugh.
I know you did, Jim. There's nothing you made me laugh. I think most of the people that listen to us will understand the fact that they know where we stand on the issues, that they know who we are as people. That if we laugh, it's because that's just who we're. Also stupid. Yeah. So that's what we do. We're
educated,
guys.
Stupid people. That's what
we're the most educated, stupid people.
And because we're stupid, because we paid our student loans. How stupid is that?
Kicking myself now. Just think about what could I have done with the extra $10,000, Jim?
You mean you're not going to be reimbursed?
Oh, geez,
they're not going to go back and give to everybody who has ever had a loan.
I didn't get the notification in my email.
Okay.
I don't know if that happened or not, but
that's not fair.
Yeah. That's craziness, Jim. I know. It's just not fair.
I love this party of inclusiveness. They certainly exclude a lot of people.
They sure do. They sure do.
Even their own people.
Although it does appear that Illinois is including everyone in their rapist and murder release program plan that's coming up soon.
See, the left makes you laugh. They just make
that's what I'm saying. Like they just because it's so idiotic.
Because there's this tree. There's this tree that has money on it. Right?
That's right.
So you just go up and say, well, here's $1 billion bill. Let's take this. And see, that's what they think.
That's what they think, and that's what they do.
Oh, that's what they do. The uber rich, they can pay for it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
It just doesn't matter. They can pay for it.
But they don't.
Jim, I'm trying to look at something here real quick, and I don't know why, but again, no interview today, but we do have upcoming interviews. Joy's going to come back.
Yeah.
All right.
Friend
so
Joy.
Those of you don't know,
from
friend
Washington.
Joy from Kitsap County, Washington, the chapter chair for Moms for Liberty. She's going to come back, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, there's going to be
she's got some things she was going to share with us that are
there's some, and I think I hope the interview with Lady Maga USA, Ryan Woods, brings more of these out, these stories, these things, because I think it's very important.
It needs to. That's all. It needs to. But also, Jim, I also wanted to say this too, because we do have another interview coming up. Natalie is going to be on the show
from Allen County.
Allen County. So
Indiana.
I think Natalie's the vice chair, if I'm not mistaken, Jim, maybe from the Allen County Moms for Liberty group. And the Allen County's fairly new.
It's just new. It is
just new. So they're really kicking that off. So it's good to welcome another member from that group. Paige is going to come back. So we've got, everybody knows Paige Miller from Hamilton County, Indiana, the chapter chair there. She's got some stuff we need to review as well. So we got some things coming up. There's a lot of that happening. Today, unfortunately, you had me and Jim acting like buffoons and idiots. I mean, that's just what we did.
That's fun.
That's just what we did. So, again, folks, we appreciate all the effort that the listeners and the groups out there did towards this Title IX garbage. We really do thank them for their support and for sharing, our podcast with everybody they know because, we were talking about it and they kind enough to share it with people. And we do really appreciate that. We also, go on.
Well, I want to add too, because when we say that, if you listen to us on Apple, you listen to us on Spotify, or even if you don't,
Buzzsprout,
go out there once. Rebel. Just go out there one time and give us a review, preferably a 5-star review. But
maybe not after today's show, but maybe a 5-star
but give us a 5-star review because with the website. By the way, there's going to be reviews. You're going to be able to do a review. Each episode you can comment on. I mean, you can do that now, but on the website, you're going to be able to contact us and let us know. Yeah. And we're hoping the website opens up more to where people might come on and say, hey, look into this for us. Or you might want to watch this story, because that's one thing that this website is going to do. And I think it's going to be great. It's going to allow you to comment. good or bad.
Exactly.
We are wide open to it. We don't care.
Yep.
As you can tell from the way Dale treats me, my feelings don't get hurt. So
I'm probably a little more sensitive, but
I don't think so. But so anyway, we're looking forward to the website because you're going to be able to do a lot more things on it.
Yeah,
and we're going to do a lot more things for our guests and help them out and do things too.
Yep.
So it's going to be a family affair.
Be a benefit for everyone, I think. So, and Jim, thank you again for working on that. You're doing a lot of work on it, and we do. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. So, so folks, thank you again. Thank you for listening, your support. Remember to follow, like, share, like Jim said, give us a review. Super important. That's how people find us out there. And we want to keep doing this, and we want people to, keep hearing all the intelligent things we have to say on most episodes.
Yeah. I think we were very intelligent on this one. We just kind of got off base a little bit, but,
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I mean,
it never happens.
Just every time you and I are actually face-to-face with each other, in every single time. So what you basically heard was how Jim and I are when we're together. So you looking around? Everything okay, Jim?
I had the door closed. I didn't know if it was open, and I got attacked by a little puppy. So, what the heck just happened? So anyway.
Folks, thank you again for listening and your participation in the whole Title IX garbage. Thank you so much for all of that. And we'll see you all back here on Thursday. Jim,
bye.
Adios, my friend. See you. Bye.
You've been listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim. Remember, you can watch on YouTube and Rumble and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you like what you hear, go ahead and give us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it, and it helps others find us when searching for podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Just search for Two Guys, One Coup. That's the number 2, guys, and the number 1, Coup, C-O-U-P. Thanks again for listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast, and God bless the United States of America.